Pick Central, January 28th. Happy birthday to my brother. Marty, you're going to sympathize with this. Text my mom about something else yesterday, and she was like, I was at your brother's all day. Sorry I didn't respond for like 8 hours. He had kidney stones.
Oh no.
Yikes.
How many?
I think just one. But the
Worst
exact...
day of his life, right?
What?
Worst day of his life.
He said it was really bad. I was like, I just heard... Damn. He goes, horrible pain. I was bugging in the hospital. They put me in the hallway like an abandoned dog and we'll like sit here. I said, no, bro, I need meds. It's unbelievable.
Bro, you can't sit. Like,
Yeah,
you have to, it's the worst pain of all time.
Yeah.
I wish it upon nobody.
My brother-in-law said it's the worst. He had 4 tours in Middle East.
Yeah.
He said this is the worst.
Oh, yeah. I'd rather go to war.
I had E. coli in my stomach. It felt like a knife was turning
Yeah.
like over and over. I can't imagine kidney
Probably
stones.
10x. Seriously. It's,
Yeah.
I literally thought I was dying. I was like, please just let me
How
go.
much pain is it when it comes out of the
Not
old
that.
brajol?
It's not that. It's the pain from when it goes from your kidney into your bladder.
So that's the pain.
Pain is that because the hole from your kidney to your bladder is like this big. So the kidney stone's like that big. It's like getting a fucking like a marble.
What does it feel like? Someone's like stabbing you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Happy birthday to him. Hopefully it's better than yesterday. Brought to you by...
Did he pass it?
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know when I passed it. You have to piss in a strainer every time you pee, and you don't know. And if it's too small, or you might have just missed it, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah. My dad had...
strainer every time you
My
pee.
dad,
Like
this will be the
so many
last
times.
story. My dad tells a story. He was in the hospital with bad stomach virus or something like that, and the guy next to him had kidney stones, and all night he just kept going, "Ah," and then he would go piss, and the bathroom was like between it, and he would go, nothing. He would hold up the strainer and go, nothing. And my dad was like, bro, I don't care. Like,
That's what I would do every time too. Nothing.
Brought to you by DraftKings. NFL playoffs. We're talking about NFL playoffs. You bet we are. Getting in the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is the key to winning in the NFL playoffs, and the key to you scoring big is betting on them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. You know somebody bizarre always scores in a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Bizarre. So Curtis Samuel, we touched on that in house call last week. He was 7-1. Somebody bizarre is going to score a touchdown for
Noah Gray.
I kind of like him as well.
No targets last week.
Yeah, I kind of
That's
like
the
Noah Gray as well.
Gray.
I'm interested. It's interesting you said that. Here's another reason to watch your favorite players crushing the playoffs. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PICKCENTRAL. That's code PICKCENTRAL for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. All right, brought in. I want to bring in, similar to the Brad Powers segment, one of the good things to come out of COVID is Ryan Hammer, I would say, right? Turn his mic up.
I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
I never thought of myself like that, for sure.
One of the good things to come out of COVID, like decided I'm going to dig
Way
in.
to introduce someone.
COVID.
COVID king. Yeah,
That
exactly.
horrible pandemic we had. This is the best
Only
part
one of the
right
good
this
things
guy.
come out. He dug in. He was cranking out videos, like a lot of statistical stuff.
Maybe you should have let up with that, not just thank God for COVID.
No, it's cool. It's fine. Let Rico do.
I
He's
said
going to say whatever he wants.
Only one of the only good thing to come out of COVID.
All right, yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so Ryan Hammer, very much a college basketball statistical guy, breaking things down. You can follow him. He's Ryan Hammer 09 is the full handle.
Yeah, I search my name. People will find me.
Yeah,
It's all
they'll
good.
find you. It's the best. All right, so we've got like 2/3 into the season now. I would say, what is the one word you would use to describe this season?
Man, it sounds boring, but fun, I guess. I feel like there's been so much like madness. Last night was a great example. There was a random Monday night. There's like barely any games on, but of course, psychotic things happen. It feels like that every single weekend. The amount of upsets, buzzer beaters, crazy things going on. It's been a good time so far.
Yeah, have you seen anything like that Duke game within 5? I was like, all right, the throw up is enough. And then Quiggs' tweet was the best with the towels. He was like, it's an absurd amount of towels.
It was
so many towels.
I think they cleaned out the entire locker room.
Bro,
with
I was
towels.
sitting on the couch, but like Rhea was in bed. I'm looking around like this, and then they showed the girl who's hopefully okay. Like, why are you showing it? They don't show injuries.
They don't show a lot of that.
They
Yeah,
show
that
the
was
girl who's passed out. Like, what are we doing?
What
It was
about-
crazy.
What about a sneaky one? Corey Alexander breaking the Kobe Bryant news 5 years
Oh my
too late.
God!
Yeah.
Yes. For those that you don't know, Kobe Bryant, who passed away 5 years ago, he said he just said it on the broadcast.
Who wouldn't know that? Watching it at
The
broadcast.
flag was wearing Kobe's shoes, and they're like,
Yes.
just for those who don't know, the late Kobe Bryant.
Imagine tuning into a
happening?
random Monday night college basketball game, but just being totally unaware that Kobe died.
Yeah, right. You need a coma or something. Like time machine.
But yes, the sport's the best.
But then also I wake because I fell asleep because I was mad I had 10 and a half, and then you see Caleb Love hit that from half court, and Ev's saying, like, anyone watching this game?
I was in the group chat. I was genuinely upset that no one else was awake. As at Arizona had the over, and for anyone who didn't watch, Caleb Love could not have hit water. He fell out of a boat.
Yeah, he sucks.
He was so bad coming up to that point. He finally made 1 3. I think he was 0 for 8 at one point. Hits a 3, misses 1 or 2 more, then makes that shot. And it was all of the part of the clip. I said this to Dukes when I was talking about it before. The free throw shooter missed a free throw. He missed the first of the 2 shots that even made it a 3-point game to have the chance. And then Love hits 2 threes in overtime. He's on fire.
And beat the shit out of
him. Literally he hits the 3 to tie it. Then they're tied at one point. Back-to-back possessions, swing pass 3, swing pass 3 from Love in the same spot. Unbelievable game.
Yeah, but you're right, Ryan. An unbelievable night on a random Monday when there weren't a lot of games. I usually start with this as quick as possible, and then we as early in the season as I can. I think in November you can't really do it. December you can't. Now's kind of the time where you can. How many teams do you think can realistically win a national title?
I feel like remember doing this with you last year around the same exact time.
My favorite question.
Obsessed with doing this.
Because I think it's fluid. I think he could say 10 today, and he could say 15 in a week. I really do. I think it's fluid.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm really confident it's going to be one of 3 teams, but there's probably around 9 or 10 realistically that have a chance because a lot can change in the next month, to be fair. So
Who are those 3?
Auburn, Duke, Iowa State.
Well, that's music to my ears.
Yeah.
Music.
I
It's hard.
saw-
It's hard.
Yesterday, you put this up, Ryan. Where
Oh, yeah. That's the statistical,
Right,
based
right.
on
I know that's not
history
your opinion.
and math and everything that's happened in the past.
Who's the closest team to joining those teams you just named, out of this list? Do you think Purdue has a real shot to make another run?
A run, sure.
a Final
People
Four
ask that a lot. They're not going to win the national title. I think Houston is probably the next one up that I would have faith in with those 3 to win the national title, especially after the last few weeks. They've been looking better. And then beyond that list, I think Michigan State was basically they might as well be on the list as a 10th team.
Does Iowa State worry you a little bit that they're not loaded with pros, from my understanding?
They are not as much as historical champions, but I'm not really that worried. Curtis Jones, not even plugging my guy just because he's my guy, but I think he's an NBA player. I think the level he's been playing at this year, he's going to be an All-American at this rate. Maybe Big 12 Player of the Year. I think he's going to get much more NBA looks and probably be an early second-round pick or something like that. So,
You okay, Bosco?
With what?
Just saying, he left out. There was
Yeah, I
not a
mean,
team
we
on
don't
that
have
list.
Alabama. You got the
Listen.
butt cramp and
Alabama.
everything.
That was very close.
Hey Ryan, if I have when you sit your star player, and their mom has to come out with a statement saying why she freaked out on your coach and everything, you would say there might be some trouble in the locker room, right?
No.
listen, I know we're trying to attack Rico here, and I honestly don't dig into that much with the Sears stuff because 99% of teams in the country wouldn't bench him because they couldn't, but they have so many dudes, Aiden, LeBaron, Philon, and stuff that they can just be like, Mark, take a back seat for a little while, and I know that frustrates him and his family and close people. But we all know Mark. He's done it. He's going to do it time again. I feel like he's going to use it as fire the rest of the year. So
he did. Off of the 0 he had against Illinois, he responded back with 24 and 24 the next 2 nights. So yeah, it's.
I have a question about UConn. Obviously, they're trying to go for a three-peat. McNeely's been out. Do you think that their defense is a huge problem?
Massive problem. 130.
Do you think that they can? Obviously, they can. I think with their coach. But do you think they're even in the mix this year?
for a title, no shot.
No shot. That's what I said. The same thing. When you're watching them, even with if McNeely comes back, and how he comes back, it's just they just look kind of lost. They don't look like they're meshing at all. I think even an early exit, right?
It could. I mean, at this point, they're playing themselves into they're going to have a tough, fast game right away, and then probably play a 1 or 2 seed second round. So it's every game they're going to be talking about even lines and maybe even underdogs in a lot of their games. So
is it because of the defense? Is that what their biggest Achilles heel is?
yeah, it definitely is. And I think just in general, their big quality and depth. That kind of is the defensive impact. Also, it hinders both sides, but it's mostly in the bigs. I see it.
And Hurley's unbelievable, right? Like, national title, and you put him as probably the best coach in the sport right now. Back-to-back titles, there's no denying that. But he also, before that, never made it to the Sweet 16. So it's one of those, is it, I'm just saying, is he
You're nitpicking him a little bit.
What?
I feel like you're nitpicking him a little bit.
We win 2 in a row.
It's like, if he didn't win these national titles, he's never done it.
Well, is he more of a
Wait to hear about Ryan
boomer?
Day.
Is he a boomer bust
Yeah,
guy?
all or nothing kind of guy.
Is he a boomer bust guy? Like,
Unfair question.
that's not
boom twice in a row.
Totally. You
it's hard
have to
say
respect the boom,
bust.
but
like,
yeah.
if you boomed, he did one boom. It's like, all right, maybe, but he's on 2 in a row.
You have to respect that for sure.
What year did he take over UConn again? 2020.
I think he's been there 5 or 6 years.
19. He stopped
2019?
taunting me.
So 2019.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
not that long.
Rigo's point, though, some coaches are great with great teams, but with good teams, they're not quite, you know what I mean? Like, some coaches are better with, like, some coaches can get more out of a good team than other coaches can. Some coaches get more of a great team than other coaches can. I don't think it's an unfair question Rigo's asking.
I think their team, like, when you look at the way they're, like, even structured, I think you can't, like, have these, like, loaded teams every year, and they have talent still, but I think they just had such, like, loaded roster with, like, the good guard play, and they have these great big men from Klingon and Sonogo and these guys. Like, they don't have that same level of that this year. I think you just can't have that every year, especially in college basketball.
Ryan, I also have another question about a team because there's me and I know Ev is obsessed with this team as well, and it's Florida.
Florida.
I'm a huge I'm obsessed with gambling on them. You love their guard.
Well, I've been a Walter Clayton guy for years.
You love Clayton.
Day one.
What's your thoughts on them?
Dude, I gotta be honest. Like, I want to love them in every way. I'm so confused because they played like a really shitty schedule out of conference and they beat up a bunch of really bad teams. They are proving that they're really good. There's nothing that they're bad at. Like, there's not a single thing that they're really not good at. I just feel like they're not controlling a lot of the games outside of like the Tennessee game and stuff like that. So it's such a weird, like, maybe that is nitpicking and just throwing random things, but it's like an eye test and like a gut feeling that I just don't know why I don't think they can like win a national title. I do think they're nice. Like, they're obviously awesome. They've done a great job putting the roster together, but I don't know what it is. Like a gut feeling that they won't win the title.
I totally agree with you where like when you're watching that game, you're not like, oh, this team's way better than you. Like, they don't control that point where you're like, because even like when I watch Duke a lot, like that they're so much better. Than I know the ACC stinks, but it's just like Florida. They look a little like out of whack sometimes.
No, it's fair. I enjoy. They're good. They're good against the spread.
Fun team to
and
watch.
they're a fun team to watch. Like, I enjoy watching them play basketball.
Good coach.
But good coach as well. But yeah, as much as I love them, I agree. There's like a little like I don't think they get it done over the upper echelon teams.
There's a team that I watch. I can't stop betting on, and they're the worst team I've ever watched, but also the best, and it's Memphis. Have you? Memphis is like the most talented team, but then they should be like Chicago State 4 years ago. Like, they're the worst team in the entire world. Where I'm like, what is happening? But that's a Penny Hardaway team in a nutshell.
Lost at home to Arkansas State.
Oh, you keep bringing. Who cares? His friend's the coach of Arkansas State.
That's why we care.
Yep.
What do you got on Memphis?
Memphis is like, they're like a roller coaster. It's crazy. It is actually insane. I feel like it's the style they play. They just like, it's so open and they just go, and they rely on like the athleticism and talent, which is better than 90% of the teams they're going to play against, especially in the AAC. But it is so hectic, and it's been like that for years. What was it, like 2 years ago? They had lost that game to FAU, went to the Final Four.
Yep.
But they should have won that game. They should have had a run to the Sweet 16 and maybe even the Final Four. It's like, it is truly the Penny Hardaway experience is one of one. It is unreal.
Do you have any like sleeper teams that you think could get better in the next over 2 months or anything like that?
If you were buying a stock in a team now.
This is unbiased. I say this because people might not know I'm a fan. I was purchasing Maryland stock under the radar a couple of weeks ago, I think. I like the Terps. I like how they're built more than anything, especially to succeed in March. Winning in the Big Ten is like nobody's going to do it consistently for the most part outside of Michigan State right now. But I think Maryland's built well for March. I even think Gonzaga is going to be fine. I don't doubt that they're going to figure out a way to the Sweet 16 like they always do, even if they're going to be a 6, 7, 8 seed or something like that. They get St. Mary's this weekend. I think Oregon State tonight. So win those games, look convincingly good, and that could be something there.
I have a question about last night's games. What do you take away more from the Arizona-Iowa State game? That Arizona has actually figured it out with these transfers that they brought in, and they can make it run into the NCAA tournament? Because I know the team we talked about, Zona, looking back at that Duke game, was not the team that they are now. Or is it Iowa State is really good and they lost 2 close games on the road?
I probably a little of both. Iowa State, like I saw the fans were like freaking out on Twitter and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't really worry much at all. Iowa State, like you've seen how good they are, and you've seen how amazing they can be, and how good their guards are. Like if Caleb Love's gonna hit a 60-foot shot to go to overtime and beat us, like so be it. When he's shooting, what was he like 1 of 9 or 2 of 9 or something like that before that? So like it kind of just is what it is. Arizona's definitely figured out more than they had at the beginning of the year, like you mentioned, Dukes, but like. I don't know. I'm not fully convinced yet.
And then one more Big Ten team, I just think it's disrespectful that they're not discussed. Wisconsin. How do they keep like Greg Gard is just always does it, always has them as a top 20 team, and they never get talked about.
Because they usually lose at the round of 32.
There you go. Exactly.
That's every
they lost in the
single
first
time.
round in JMU.
But I mean, look who's on his fucking team.
But that's the
Definitely
thing where
over.
it's like,
Yeah, I
we
think
get
it's
it.
one of those. He's
Mike Tomlin.
Maybe.
I think that's pretty good though for Wisconsin.
Not bad.
That's
Actually, yeah, that's pretty good.
exactly what it is.
They are always good.
Yeah, no, they always are.
He gets the most out of the talent too. They lost Chucky too.
Yeah,
There's value in that.
No, he's a great coach. Definitely a good
He
coach.
gets the most out of his guys. I mean, I love what was the team I was? I love the Maryland pick. I watched them at Indiana. That was a gritty win. That was just is Mike Woodson out? Like who's going to be out?
Oh my God, I have no idea what they're going to do. That dude is toast. I say things with a lot of respect and positive intent majority of the time, but Mike Woodson cannot be the Indiana coach next year.
Agree.
Oh, I don't know who they're going to go after,
That
but
play call at the end of the game. I don't know if anyone saw
yeah,
that.
3 guys into the corner.
Yeah, and they were making like subs. They made like 6 subs at a time. He had no idea who was supposed to go in the game. Like I was like, oh my
What
God.
happened to him? He was a pretty decent NBA coach. He wasn't the greatest, but he's fine with Atlanta.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think people love that hire when it happened at Indiana either. I think that was kind of.
Yeah, the ex-player stuff it never ends up going, not never, but majority of the time it goes down a pretty big cliff pretty fast.
Yeah, I feel like it's if you could barely name anyone, that's like I know Shire was a player, but
He just bad at recruiting, maybe?
No, he got loaded class in the transfer portal.
yeah, no,
Like
So
they
what's
went
the problem then? I don't because like I said, he was a good coach.
He doesn't
in
know the
NBA. He
system
wasn't
that he
great,
wants to
but-
run.
yeah, it's just
He
different.
doesn't know the
system.
players that want to fit his what he wants to do, or maybe he doesn't know what to do and he just got players.
There's definitely like a culture thing there also. Like I don't know, obviously I'm not in their trainings and practice, and some guys say everything's fine, he's a great coach, but like the effort they put in sometimes in random games and random 5-minute bits, like you don't see the top teams of like Auburn, Houston, etc. Like that never happens. They don't lapse like that.
I also feel like nobody, in his defense, a little bit, like nobody runs away with the Big Ten. You take it's like everybody fucking just
rock fights.
yeah, they're all you're gonna take stupid losses to Northwestern and like fucking teams at the bottom. Like that's just how it is. You're going on the road, the Big Ten, like everybody has, and they get overseeded, and like 10 teams make the tournament, and they never do anything, but they just value the Big Ten. Oh, that's a great league. It's a great league. Like they just beat each other. But
I wanted to bring up again, the ACC is very down, right? But you got to give credit to Pat Kelsey, right? For Louisville should be like disbanded as a program the past 2 years. Like they should never be allowed to play basketball. Now they're ranked 21 and like they're incredible. Like they're not incredible, but like it's just the fact that they're even
incredible turnaround
in the tournament this year is pretty impressive.
Yeah, they nice. And I'm pretty sure Kelsey is one of Rico's guys. Maybe we should put earmuffs on or something like that, right?
100%.
Yeah. No, Kelsey, he's done great, and they're nice. And to your point, Marty, like the AACC's down, but the ACC has been down, and the teams that end up making the tournament and play well, they end up playing well in March. So maybe Louisville's another one of those teams.
That is true.
correct me if I'm wrong. 2 years ago when San Diego State made the Final Four, didn't Charleston lose by a hair in that game as well? That was Kelsey's team?
Yeah, it was.
So, like, you talk about Memphis, like Memphis could have made the run. I'm not saying Charleston makes a run to the Final Four, but they had a final or national. San Diego State was the runner-up. And a runner-up, like, by the Bulls, like, at the end of the game. So, yeah, I think Kelsey's a good coach.
Definitely.
Give me a little something on the Buckeyes. Starting to play some good ball.
They are so confusing.
They are.
Oh God, they should be so good. I feel like, and like they're one of the few teams that, like, if you go on any numbers and statistical websites like KenPom and stuff, they're high rated everywhere, but they're basically like a 500 team. It's kind of like last year too. I don't know. At this point, they're going to be one of those teams that has like 13, 14 losses and might squeeze in the tournament.
Good wins.
And maybe they go to Dayton. That's not a bad thing because Columbus is right there, right? So
I'd love it. You know, the amount of, like, the Pitt loss was brutal. Oregon loss was brutal. huge comeback. Wisconsin don't end up pulling out the end, but then they'll beat Kentucky by 20. They'll beat Texas. Like they'll beat Purdue on the road. This team's crazy. I'd like at least at Seward. They said they're 12-8 right now, but they're in the field.
Yeah, they're like either just in or just out. Like they're so confusing. They epitomize like what the Big Ten is. Just like absolute confusion, mayhem, can't figure it out.
Your current bracketology, the 5, 6, and 7 seeds. In the past couple of Final Fours, there's always been an outlier. It seems like there's a little bit of top heavy, and then there's like just a complete. Last year at 11. 2023 was bonkers. It was, I think, no ones for
San
sure.
Diego State was,
it was a 5, UConn.
Miami.
Yeah, it was bizarre. 5, 6, and 7 teams that you would buy stock in right now, or you would say, 2 or 3 that are most likely to make a Final Four run.
Yeah, I already mentioned Maryland there. I have them on the 7 line. Texas Tech and St. John's I'd probably go after.
Tech.
I like Texas
love
Tech.
all 3 of those teams. That's gambling. I love St. John's. I hope fucking breaks your heart and you have to cry. But I do. Texas Tech is a very fun
love
team.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my teams going into the tournament right now. Them and
Where
St.
do you
John's.
have St. John's at 5?
5, yeah, but they're getting up there. They're
getting
climbing.
up, yeah.
So
They are climbing. What do you think about the Big East overall, though? It's not necessarily as strong as it has been.
yeah, it's weird at the bottom of it. It kind of reminds me of the ACC, just like condensed because there's like 11 teams versus 17 or 18 in the ACC. They'll have a few teams in. There's just not the top heavy. Like last year, there were 3 teams in the tournament. They were all national title contenders, and now like Marquette maybe can contend for the national title, but then there's no one else. But it doesn't mean that the teams can't do well. So
The slate tonight, what stands out in terms of I know you look at like different tempo matchups or like, hey, this team really shoots the 3 well, this team doesn't defend it well. If you're looking at spreads, what's the biggest, I guess, mismatch on the slate tonight, or something you'd be like, hey, keep an eye on this one if you're watching?
I mean, I just mentioned about St. John's. Like they're playing at Georgetown tonight. Georgetown is actually obviously not bad this year. They've much improved, but the Johnnies, dude, inside they are tough to bang around with, and even for a team that has decent size, like I feel like the Johnnies bully ball should be able to take that one pretty easily. I think their line is pretty close. I didn't check the final one, but
4.
Yeah, I think Georgetown's really good, honestly. Like, and I think coming out after that Providence game, that's a big bounce back spot. I think Thomas Sorber, the Georgetown center freshman, is like, if he stays at Georgetown, he's looking like an All-American. But what Zuby can do to him, I think, just physically, and
He really
just
is a beast.
Enforcing his will, I just don't. I don't know how St. John's doesn't cover this spread. I want to know for my Dayton Flyers, what's the path?
I mean, you got they play SLU this week and VCU next week.
We play St. Bonnie's tonight and SLU Friday.
They really can't afford many losses. Like lose one game against like VCU and then win out and without winning the A10 tournament, like that's a possibility, but they've got a lot of work to do. Dukes, I might actually be there next weekend in VCU, by the way. I forgot to tell you.
Wow. All right, maybe I'll have to go down. I need to win.
There's a chance. Like they're alive. It's just like, I don't know, talk like 30% chance, random ballpark number.
I remember Dukes was telling us a lot after that match.
So on Maui, I was all in on Maui, man.
I literally don't know what happened.
They were going blow for blow with like the best teams we have to offer.
They're going blow for blow, but what's crazy, they did finish 7th in that.
But still, they were like,
I know. They should have beat fucking Iowa State.
Yeah, they should have beat Iowa State.
If Zed Key's not a fucking bonehead, we beat Iowa State.
That's a big win. That holds a lot of weight. Yeah, I agree.
Don't
they were
collapse
in every
against UNC.
Yeah.
UNC also
beat UConn by 20.
UNC
beat Marquette.
I hope we beat them by 40 on Saturday. I hate them.
They play tonight. Did Pitt have someone go out today? The line moved like 2-3 points this morning.
I didn't see it.
I haven't seen.
It was like 4.5. Now they're 2.5. I didn't know if someone
It's
was
a
out.
weird team.
I do have a general
They are
question,
weird.
though. Is when people start gearing up for March, or if people are just getting into college basketball right now, they want to learn more about the game analytically. What's the website that you would advise that someone might go to more? Is it Evan Mia? Is it Ken Palm? Bartorvik? Like, what would you say is the best one out there right now?
I'd say Evan Mia is good with like unique things of like lineup metrics and like most indispensable players and random things like that I think is very easy to comprehend. And then CBB Analytics is a site that I use for all those charts that people love. Visualizations, which people can more easily digest than like Ken Palm's website. So I think that's a good website also.
Have you got big enough now that you have a guy making the charts for you?
No, so CBB Analytics, you go on the site with a certain subscription tier, and you can basically plot the teams based on what you want to. So I can do it in 2 seconds.
I thought you were building a team.
You're not paying that subscription.
No, that's why I haven't got yet. But I respect his charts. He's got the trapezoid. I know
It's funny where I think about, like, everyone's saying the ACC's down, right? And they are, like, obviously. You think they could potentially still get 4 or 5? Like, I think Duke, Louisville, and Clemson are gonna get in.
Yeah.
And then like a
Wake's
UNC,
being talked about.
Wake, or I don't know where Pitt's at right now, to be honest, but like there still could get 4 or 5 teams in there, right?
Yeah. Louisville, Clemson is 3, right? Wake would be 4. I have that they should be in right now. As of right now, Pitt I have just barely in, and then UNC and SMU are right on the outside.
Yeah,
so like they're not gonna get all those teams in. Like there's no way. Especially because they keep playing each other, but like 4 or 5 teams probably, yeah.
Yeah, which is always funny because then you're right. Always one that's like not Duke will get far, and you're like, well, how the fuck is Miami, like not this year, but how did Miami get to the Final Four at that point?
I just saw this for Bart Torvik. You could do it by the date. So these are the top 10 teams since January 4th.
Yeah, I like doing that.
So since like conference play,
Crazy.
Louisville 7th.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Which is funny. Did anyone see that Archie Miller quote?
Oh my god,
That was unbelievable.
that is what college basketball is about, right there. They're the SEC's 500. How they're 500, Archie?
I guess I feel like an idiot. It did take me a minute to figure out
Me
why I
too.
was wrong.
Oh, me too.
I went, oh wow, the SEC's 54 and 50, and I went, hold on a second.
Yeah, they just have to be.
Yeah,
there.
they have to be. Like,
Well,
yeah.
and that's where it's funny where like you're going on a mic. At least think about it for a second, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's someone that gave him that stat got motherfucked like 10
Oh
minutes
yeah, because
later.
he didn't see it. Yeah, someone told him it was.
Someone's like, hey, you got to make sure you say the stat.
500. Has he said anything yet? He's got to say something.
You should have to issue an apology.
Yeah, he'd be like, listen, that's on me. That was stupid.
We could treat this like a stock portfolio. I think this is going to be very interesting each week as we move forward. Right now in your current bracketology, you could put 3 teams in the portfolio that you're most likely to win a game as an upset. So a 9 doesn't count. 10 to 16. Which of those teams in your current bracketology, based on where they're at? So, hey, this team's playing Wisconsin, or this team's playing Missouri, and I think Missouri's a bad matchup for that. So you could do it exact based on the thing, but you could take those 3 teams and tell us what seed they are of where you're putting them most likely to win a game in the first round in terms of an upset.
Love it. On the spot, no statistical analysis, nothing. Straight off the dome. I like McNeese State again this year. Last year, I was high on McNeese, but I was anti them winning a game because Gonzaga was a terrible matchup.
Yep.
I gassed them up so much, and people were upset with me. When I said they're not going to win, though, and I was like, Gonzaga is good. What can I say? I like them this year. I think they're better than last year.
What
and
line do you have them on?
Say again?
What line is McNeese State on?
12 right now. They probably will be there.
Yep.
If they're probably going to win out the entire way to the tournament, to be completely honest.
Will Wade's
I have them
27-1
drawing
conference
Ole
line.
Miss right now, but Ole Miss, Missouri, those kind of teams, I think Will Wade knows the SEC. Like I like them to win a game like that.
Okay, and then 2 more.
I'll do it again. I like New Mexico again this year too. I took them last year.
Yep.
I still will stand on the fact that they were built to win in March last year. They had a terrible game versus Clemson. Clemson just absolutely manhandled them. I think they're built well. Donovan Dent's one of the best guards in the country. I have them on the 10. I have them playing Maryland in this one. Hopefully they don't. I think Maryland's going to get above a 7 anyway at some point, but I have them as a 10 right now. If they win the Mountain West, they might not be an upset. They might be a favorite. It might be a 5, 6, 7 seed. Who knows? And then I'll go with Bradley also. I got Bradley on the 12. I think they're better suited to win in March than Drake is. Even though Drake beat them in the head-to-head, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that. And they could both get in. Like I have them both getting into the tournament as of today, which is still going to be tough. But I have Bradley on the 12 line playing. It looks like Missouri would be right as of right now. So
Yeah.
Ben McCollum, the Drake coach, he came from a D2 powerhouse, right, where they just like consistently won.
They won like multiple national titles or something like that in the last 10 years. Like he's an absolute wizard. It shows that like good coaching will succeed on every level. He's awesome.
All right. Anybody got anything final? So St. John's would be a pick tonight based on what
Loves
he's saying.
Johnny
So cross the bridge and place that one. We'll see you next Tuesday, Rye. Stay in touch.
We appreciate y'all. See ya.
All right.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, he's the best. That trapezoid of.
Let's talk about some golf.
Yeah, let's talk. Phil, you see what I'm doing with the phone? I'm trying to pull up the ad. Like
Well,
there's no buffer with you.
I'm trying to set you up.
Phil, just text him.
I have to shoot a video with him later too. I want to blow my brains out.
You're the one that asked me to do the video.
Yeah, all right, Phil.
All right, Phil. All right, Phil.
All right, Phil. All right, you saw
Talk
it,
about some golf.
you saw it last night. A very exciting TGL.
Last night was outrageous.
Last night was unbelievable. Actually,
Moved Duke off of ESPN for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was like it went to overtime last night.
yeah, Phil, you said it's the same ad. It still says 127 though, so it can't be.
It's the same words.
Okay, but it's when it says tonight 127. Okay.
Got a little attitude to him. You hear that? The same word.
He's like, just read it, dummy.
Dance for him, Rico.
This is TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, an all-new indoor-style golf where high-tech meets high stakes. Primetime ESPN. Okay. Phil, can you pull up the schedule? What's the next match of the season as well? Because it says 127. That was obviously last night.
Dancing back there.
This is unreal.
It's not prepared. I can only go with what I'm prepared with. And I want to give the TGL their perfect, their exact.
Of course you do. We gotta get the best
Give
information.
TGL
to
the best
people.
information.
Yeah.
We watched last night. It was electric.
TGL's going to come back next week.
TGL's next week.
TGL next week.
Let's just say,
Okay.
I got my dates wrong.
let's just say that for Phil, for how disrespectful he was right to you, it major L.
Yeah, I got my days wrong.
Right.
That's tough, Phil.
Gave the wrong ad.
It's on Phil.
You can't
days wrong.
come in
There's no
hot like
TGL
that.
for
and your
that.
days
Last
wrong.
night was electric. It obviously, I know.
TGL was great. I can't
People
wait to
like,
watch it
yeah,
next
I
week.
mean,
Talking about it.
the one thing, like, there were people who were like, I want to watch the Duke game, but when you tuned in to TGL, it was compelling to watch the end of that.
Listen, that's
It is
why-
very,
yeah,
very
it's-
funny
yeah.
that Jupiter has its own team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, that's because you have Florida, where it's just like, it does make a lot of sense.
I think it's in Jupiter, right?
Yeah.
Like the TGL, like the
like that.
stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure
I just think it's. I think
it is
it's
funny
so
where
fun
it's
because
like
every golfer in
not
Florida is
Miami
Jupiter. Yeah,
or something.
Every
It's
Florida,
just-
like, there's no golfer that's like, oh yeah, I live in Miami. Every golfer
is like
that
the
goes
It is
golf.
all Jupiter.
It
Yeah.
is like the golf capital.
Exactly.
You either live
I
in
love
Jupiter or you live in Scottsdale. Either one.
It's a 3-on-3 match play golf league that takes place. The competition of pro golf takes the competition of pro golf and places it inside an arena sports atmosphere. 6 teams: Atlanta, Boston, LA, New York City, the Bay, and Jupiter, featuring 24 of the PGA Tour's best go head-to-head each week. We're talking mic'd-up players, shot clocks, ref, never-before-seen holes, and moving green, playoffs, lights, cameras, action. It all goes down in the first-of-its-kind arena in Florida. Tune in on ESPN and ESPN+. This is TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up, it's golf. So, yeah, electric.
It really is sick.
We'll get the matchup for next week.
Guys like making putts. They're chirping the crowd. It really is unreal.
Getting
The
Tiger Woods
environment's
in that's
awesome.
also crazy.
That's
too.
huge. I got to say though, I'm a pretty big Meek freak. You know, I love Meek Phil. He's having a rough week.
Tough,
Yeah, week.
tough
Not a
week.
good week for Meek. Oh, now we're shooting the trash or
Shooting
the floor,
nonsense.
and then us.
Oh my
Look at
God,
us.
Frank just dunked on Tate.
I just saw
Oh
that.
my
That's
God.
tough. So funny.
What do you say?
Tate put out like, let's discuss the elephant in the room about how he gained 46 pounds in his first 10 months at Barstool, which is like, I think the Barstool 25 is real. Then Frank responding,
course,
it's funny.
Still
I have
waiting
lost,
for it.
Yeah,
funny.
same.
I have lost 69 pounds. I found a way. You need to walk every day. Just that simple. With love, of course.
With love, of course, a pat on the
With
head.
love,
there.
of course.
With love, of course,
So funny.
of all people.
All right, so I dug this stat up off of college basketball. I dug this stat up. I'm not going to take credit that I created this stat. Back in the day, I used to
Big of you?
when people what?
Big of you.
When people used to write about college basketball a lot, you consume the articles every week. One of these guys put out the stat, and then I've since adopted it and like kept up with it.
Okay.
So it is it's my now project to a degree, but I did not create it.
You found this stat, but you made it better.
Yeah, I did make it better because I've charted it.
I agree.
The 8, for whatever reason, and I don't know why this is the thing, but I guess maybe because we're 2/3 of the way through the season or you're a month through conference play, but for whatever reason, the AP poll in the last week of January, since 2002, in all but 1 year, 2023, which is a shit show of a tournament, at least one team ranked in the AP top 10 has made the Final Four in the poll released in the last week of January. In those 22 years, 17 years have had 2 or more teams, 77.2%. In those 22 years, 13 years have had 3 or more teams, 59%. So 3 or 4. In the 2, there's more because it's 2, 3, and 4. You get what I'm saying?
No. Well, let me
Now
slow it down because you're reading the chart and we're not seeing it.
I get what he's saying.
I get it. Too. The top 10 in the last week of January.
Last week of January, at least one team makes the Final Four. In 17 of those years, 2 or more have made the Final Four. In 13 of those 22 years, 3 or more have made it.
So there
was also a run from 2015 to 2022 that had a consecutive streak where every year 3 teams made that Final Four. And in 2 years, 07 and 08, all 4 teams made the Final Four from the AP Top 10. So I guess if you're looking at Final Four futures, which you pull it up in the blog, but there's, if you're looking at, hey, I'm going to place a team to go to the Final Four, take one of the teams. I know there's a lot of chalk in there. Well, but there are some teams who are
top 10 for a reason.
There are some teams who are disrespected that you can find some value in. Michigan State 7-1, Marquette 7.5 to 1, Purdue 11 to 1.
There's someone right there who I want to put in right now. I'm going to say right now, if you can, if we want to pull it up on DraftKings, but the Marquette. Marquette is my team this year.
So there you go. So that's 7. They're 7.5 to 1.
7.5 to 1.
Make the Final Four, or win it all.
Make the Final Four.
Just make it.
So I'll probably
make the Final Four.
I'll probably have them to make the chant, and then you could cash out or whatever. But I don't buy Michigan State, but I like the stat. Yeah, top 10 team right now is also when teams are finding you found your. If you haven't found your identity yet. Minus 110 to get to the Final Four. Oh, baby!
I do kind of like Michigan State.
Well, the other thing,
Jack McCarthy's plus 240 to take a bus.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other,
There you go, Bob. That's not so bad, Bosco.
The other element of this is if one of these teams falls out a little bit. So let's say Houston, which is a hard league, Houston takes 2 losses down the stretch in the Big 12 and falls out of the top 10 and gets a 4 seed. They were in this poll in the last week of January. You could still be looking at them. Maybe their odds increase a little bit. It's very fluid.
Yeah.
But or if you're looking, hey, who's a 4 seed who can upset a 1? Go back to the last poll in January. Hey, they've been good at this point. That's a team who could probably get there. You're looking at maybe a 4 seed, a 5. You can fall in and out of this. And that's where it goes. So, the odds will increase, the odds will decrease. They're not all going to be – these top 10 teams are not all going to be 1, 2, and 3 seeds. That's kind of my point as well.
100%.
Houston has 3 really tough games left.
Dukes, can you bring up the DraftKings again, please?
So, Bosco, I got to say plus 240. That's not too – you're the 5th – that's the 5th best odds.
Yeah.
There's a couple of
If I told you that before the season started, would you have taken this?
100%.
That makes sense.
Well, isn't that what it was?
Kind of what it was.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
They also, you'll see.
That's the thing. They moved from 2 to 4.
This next 2 weeks.
They've been very consistent.
Next 2 weeks, you'll see how Alabama really is.
Okay.
And that's not. I think they're good, obviously, but this next 2 weeks, not the first game. When they play Mississippi State first.
I think they're projected to lose to Mississippi State tomorrow
Mississippi
at
State.
Mississippi State. I don't think they're very good.
But
tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
where do you guys see some value here for Final Four?
Texas Tech, 8.5 to 1.
Texas Tech is a good one.
Zona.
A&M.
A&M, yeah, 12 to 1. I think
1.
Michigan 12 to 1's not a bad one. I mean, dude, as much as you want to say about UConn, 11. You want to get them right now. It's not a bad spot. 11 to 1.
Yeah, Zona too.
I don't believe in Zona, but that's obviously great value.
Oaxaca's a beast.
Yeah, I think they
After watching,
I think what you saw
after
yesterday.
watching them last night, but they impressed me that they were able to, even though it took a 60-footer to go to OT, they're one of their best players is able to have the worst game of his life.
No, but he's
against
not, he is bad a lot.
But I'm saying, more my point is Iowa State's so good. If you can have basically not play well and basically still beat them in overtime, you're a good team.
Yeah, no, of course.
That's more for me. I'm giving Iowa State that much respect. Iowa State's that good. If you can have one of your best shooters be horrible and beat them, you're a pretty good team. You're a team that can make a run, in my opinion.
Pull up.
I think they could beat you so many different ways.
That's what I'm saying. He is such a monster on the offensive glass.
They're efficient on both ends. They're efficient on both ends of the floor. Since UCLA, they have 1 loss against Texas Tech away. I think that's a great value pick.
No, of course it's a great value pick. I don't believe in them, but that's why it'll be fun to watch. Can I say one thing about Duke before from last night? What shows why they're so good, because NC State's not good. They're not. They're a fine team. They're average. They're 22-point favorites last night. They won by 10. Not great. But NC State last night shot basically, because the last two didn't really count, they shot 50% from three and shot 40% from the field. And Duke won by 10. They shot 20% from three and 39% from the field. So that's where it's like, that's where I think Duke, their defense gets helps them out so much when they're not playing well. They still are in every single game, even like when they have those dud of games, because you're going to have duds of games. Alabama has it, like you're shooting 20% from three, you usually don't win, you know? And that's where I was like, oh, all right, this team, because usually Duke teams at that point always lose. They love losing to random ass teams like that. But yesterday I was like, oh, all right. They could fucking actually stick with it, but it was nice.
Dukes, he said Maryland. He likes Maryland. Pull up Maryland's odds to make the Final Four.
Duke was also eating rebounds last night.
They were.
Pull up Maryland's odds to make the Final Four.
I was 22-1. I think that's
Wednesdays. Actually, that's a great game right there. Wednesday, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Maryland.
At home.
Yeah, Maryland's one of those teams that I love watching. Like, they played Marquette. I remember watching that game in the beginning of the season. That was Marquette kind of stole that one at the end.
Dukes,
they don't really have bad losses. Northwestern in overtime away. Oregon away. Washington away is pretty bad, but that's it. Like, Purdue away, Marquette by 4 at home, and like I remember that.
What's Oregon? Because Oregon's, I don't trust them in the tournament, but they're good.
I think Dana Altman's pretty good in the tournament.
Yeah.
I would say they're ranked 15th right now. I can't imagine they're worse than 15,
22.
Really? That's long.
22?
22 is long.
Now that's a value play right there. Oregon can definitely get there. It depends what seed they get, obviously. That's why it's so hard.
I think they've been
for college
the seeding's everything.
Kind of low-key
matchups are everything.
Because football, you can figure out who the top 12 teams are going to be.
Yeah, you know who you're going to play.
You know who you could play. Like this one, you could be a 1 seed and end up playing. I was looking today. 1 seeds could play Creighton in their second game. Can play West Virginia in their second game. Georgia in their second game. Those are not easy second games. You know. But
I think NIL and all the transfer portal has made that gap between 1 and those 8-9s really close.
Yeah,
closer than it's ever been, in my opinion. It feels like every 8-9 game, it's that's a tough game.
You would get the West right now.
That's where we were last year.
Yeah, I would love to go watch at Newark.
Yeah, that's probably where Duke's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I said I just need a Johnny's Bama Elite 8 matchup. Johnny's Bama Elite 8 would feed families.
I hope that we get that. I just need the same. I need them on the same side.
So bad.
It's gonna be a
or 1-4. 1-4 would be incredible.
Or at least a Final Four would be. Oh my God.
But them playing for him either taking a bus or
oh yeah,
or he's having either the week of his life, or he's taking a 24-hour bus, staying at the Motel Inn, jerk off in, and watching Rick Pitino's St. John's team in the Final Four. That he has the worst trip ever, and he also just couldn't be more wrong about the team and everything.
Yes, I'm not sure what I want to see
just insane.
More. You on the bus was very entertaining. I will say it was funny. You were funny after.
Horrible.
It's horrible, and it's longer this year.
Brutal.
But also
through Texas. Too.
I gotta be honest. I want to see Dave at the Pumps party so bad. Because
all in matching jumpsuits.
Just because I know
we're wearing business cap. I gotta talk to them. We're wearing business cap.
I know
we all need to go in jumpsuits.
I know how.
Yeah, I guess.
I know how Rico is.
Barstool tracksuits.
I've been in meetings with Rico with low-level coaches, lowest you could possibly think of. I've been in meetings with Rico, and he's the same person with. And then the high-level guys, I just want to see. I think Dave would would be smiling the entire time watching how crazy you are with these. You introducing Dave to these coaches would be so funny.
Yeah, he said it would be like 7 minutes in heaven. I'd just be rolling them in. Like this guy wants to talk, that guy. Yeah.
What else happens if they don't? Is that it? That's all they have to do?
No,
well, Bosco's
class.
He gets first class. Like
you have to get in their hotel.
And I guarantee the more important thing for me is I guarantee the rundown is scheduled around practice, so I get to go to practice.
So the funny thing is, you could have asked for probably way more, and that's all you wanted. Amazing.
Let's go to practice.
I want to go to practice.
he gets to stay. He gets first class, and he gets to come early, and he gets to stay in the same level of hotel room that Dave does.
So why?
So he gets like the fuck you penthouse room.
I gotta ask, why do you want to go to practice? Like, what is good about it?
He gets to literally.
You're on the floor in
It's a
a massive stadium.
It's a day.
Clemmer. Imagine if the Mets said, "Hey, you can come and stand on the field."
Like, during batting practice?
You're telling me you wouldn't like that?
I've done it before. It's okay.
Yeah, same.
Like it's fine. Like
I thought you got to be more excited.
I would never like. I don't like. It's like all right. These guys like. It's but like.
I would love to do that.
I would.
I thought you'd be more. I thought that would resonate with you more.
No.
I'm surprised by
Baseball's different though too. I did it's different.
We don't want to be around. I mean, Bosco.
I would like.
This is his like number one. I get like this like his like.
I understand
top
like
thing.
I'd love to go like talk to managers. So I understand the coaching thing. So I get that, Rico. Like I really do. The being there practice to me kind of boggles my mind.
I love seeing high competitive teams
being at the Mets field while they're at the warm up for the World Series. That's more what it is, really.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the Final Four. It's like the.
I'll be honest, though, I went on the Yankees field.
You'd be fired
That'd be
up.
cool.
You'd be fired up.
The batting coach got me on the Yankees like for batting practice. It was fucking awesome. Like I was so
I
excited.
think it'd be
Like, it
sick,
felt like
yeah.
a kid again, where you're like, these guys are. I'm not even saying. I'm not even meeting the guys. I'm just like watching them hit up close and personal, like are on Yankee Stadium. It's like holy shit.
And like to Ev's point, like it would be like the World Series.
It is.
That's
what I'm
pretty
saying,
cool.
like,
That's a whole different.
your team,
energy.
like
That's
in the
let's go.
championship,
Yeah,
like
I will say Duke is like 1A and B with the Yankees for me, but like the funny thing is that it's with 18-year-olds.
Right.
That's where the funny part of this comes. It's like he's on the court with 18-year-olds, but he's only there for Nate Oates anyway.
He likes the coaches. See, I get that because I like the managers.
he likes the players still. The coaches more.
This show is gonna be the best when Nate Oates goes to the NBA and we don't talk about Alabama ever again.
Now, when Bosco becomes,
I think that would be the best.
Bosco becomes the biggest Charlotte Hornets fan in the world.
Let's go Hornets.
Yeah, we'll be an NBA show after that.
That sounds wonderful.
I do think it's awesome though, like going to the Final Four and seeing like high level teams prepare for like the biggest stage of their lives and like how the coaches, how the players prepare. I think like everything going into it is pretty.
I'll put a little buzz. I mean, it's an open. They're not showing you shit.
They're shooting.
But I think it's more.
I still think it's cool.
I think it's about just being like foot on the wood. Like this is the court they're playing the Final Four on.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like there's a level of just
you get to see how
like you're
kids,
here.
like-
It's like a moment. Like even like just getting to go to the game last year, a Final Four game. Like I was
That's
like,
cool.
this is incredible. Like just being in the stands. So like, and college basketball's not even my number one. So I imagine Bosco, like if it's your favorite thing.
Oh, I get that.
Like if I was on the field for before the national championship game, even like the week leading up to it,
Yeah.
I'd be ecstatic.
I got to go to the Duke it was terrible. UNC won, but Duke UNC Final Four was like the coolest thing I've ever been involved in. And like this year, I probably won't get invited, but like Duke's gonna be in the Final Four. I know they are. I would be the same if I got to go to practice for Duke. I'd be fucking hyped. But I wouldn't move the rundown if I wouldn't care as much as you do. But the fact that I do get why it's exciting.
It is funny that that's like
Cool
a
atmosphere.
negotiating piece because it probably was like the easiest thing to move. Like, let's just do it at like 2 instead of 3, like no problem.
Yeah.
And we know we've been in a few of those now. Like you're there for 5 days, you're doing stuff for 2 of the days.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Alabama.
That's why
I want Bosco to have this moment.
I don't know.
I do too, but I wanted to.
I don't know
I want him
because-
to work for it.
I don't. It's also.
I want him to be like.
He's a package deal with someone else here that I get texts from, and Travi, and I get texts sometimes too. So sometimes I like to see Alabama fail.
Travis gets very excited.
Yeah,
I mean, he went to school.
Yeah, I'll give you guys this though. If the Eagles lose, Max would be going from a Super Bowl loss to a month and a half later on a bus to Texas. It's like, don't you like watching Max fail? I know everybody likes watching me fail.
Can I be honest? Like both. I'm not involved, so either one is going to be
win,
funny.
yeah.
Someone's taking a bus.
I'd rather you not, Bosco. I'd rather you not. But like, either way, it's going to be
I thought it was McCarthy.
It's
McCarthy
Jack
and
Both
Max.
of
Max
them.
got
Both
love.
of them.
Max got
Document-
love.
Max get thrown to that.
Because he just did. It actually is like kind of mean that he did, but it's, I don't know.
alright.
He did. I
No,
think,
but does he? But did they both get like first class and all that? Correct?
I think so.
Or no?
Yeah. I think just Jack does. Somehow I think Max. I don't know if Max has like all the perks.
He would've been-
Max is just negative.
That's the worst negotiating of all time.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
how that
the case.
happened, but
I take a bus if I lose, and if
think
I
he
win,
gets-
I just
nothing.
I think he gets the benefits.
I just go like I usually be going anyway.
Yeah, I think he gets the benefits.
Because that's for McCarthy. If I'm McCarthy, it's a no-brainer. You have basically like a minus like 350 bet
Yes.
to like be first class and do all this shit.
Yeah.
No-brainer.
No, Jack and Max right now are like
No-brainer.
because you're plus 240 right now.
Like,
You don't know
You have so many outs.
so many.
You just need them to lose one game before the
even
Final Four.
lose,
That's
bro.
it. Just lose one
Someone
game.
gets hurt. You have
Yeah,
no, like it doesn't like imagine like just like 3 guys in Alabama got hurt. Rico's fucked.
Yeah, they're gonna be in the tournament no matter who gets hurt. They're in the tournament.
Doesn't matter.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
lose one
saying
game.
One game.
One game before the Final Four.
They're hanging in though. Plus 240, the 5th best odds. I'm just
But
saying.
it's
Winning
you're
4 games
guaranteed
is not
like
easy.
No, I know.
Especially if they're not a 1 seed.
well to get the final you got to win. Yeah, what?
4.
So you're gonna have at least 2 like really tough games.
Right.
Like
I think it's gonna be 3.
potentially 3, very potentially 3 to
And-
second
and-
round.
Could be very hard.
Yeah, because I don't think you're gonna get because a 2 seed, 15 seed sucks. That's not gonna like 3 is where it can maybe get dicey. Like you're not gonna be a 4 seed. So
But like they said that 4-5, like a St. John's or something like that, like
Oh, yeah.
could be real tough.
I think at worst
obviously the
case-
1-2
I
is
think
tough.
worst case there are 2. So they could face a 7.
Yeah.
Regardless, yeah, it's 2-3 real tough games.
It could be a 3 if they go like 500 in this stretch down the road with
Yeah.
whatever. But all right, one last thing before we get into picks. And I know this is almost like a topic every year, and it's one of those I'm not going to watch. So like, why do you care? Maybe it's just old man barking in the clouds. The dunk contest field is terrible,
Dude.
like awful. Can we pull up who the 4 I actually had?
Mac McClung going for the first three.
It's McClung.
He's
It's
like not even in the league. though.
it's embarrassing.
He's literally honestly good for him where he's just like made a career now. Like he's gotten paid. How much you win? $1 million, right?
How you win?
I thought you
Do
won
you?
$1 million.
That was the home run derby. I don't know about the dunk contest. You might.
I could be very wrong.
Surprised more guys aren't doing it then.
Well,
Two
why?
UConn guys.
It's. I mean, again, I'll say it every year. It's LeBron's fault. This is LeBron's fault. LeBron started the standard that you are. Like, he was too good to do the dunk contest. Too cool. Too good of a player, and that made like the next generation all feel the same way. And that's why no one does it.
I mean, Dwight Howard did it, and then now no one does it.
I mean,
just died.
Vince Carter was appointment television.
It just died.
Michael
But-
Jordan,
but even
Howard
I mean,
was
but think about
appointment
even like,
Dominique Wilkins.
Blake Griffin doing it was great. Like that was a great year. I miss even though they're not like the star players, still like Levine, Aaron Gordon was like all time. I still say that Aaron Gordon dunks the most highest level of difficulty dunk I've ever seen.
Spud Webb was
Zion
better than
hasn't
those
done it
guys.
yet, right?
Who?
He's always been hurt, but Zion,
Zion, yeah, him not do, like
been
he
good.
needs to do it.
he'll do it. I think he'll.
He's
do
never
It.
whenever he's healthy, he needs to do it.
Yeah.
You guys
He'd
had to
break
make
his knee doing it probably.
A 4. Like, what's your dream dunk contest right now? Like, but active players.
Zion,
Zion, for
easy.
sure. LeBron.
I don't know. For
I don't even know enough
for
'cause
the
I don't
star
watch
power.
NBA, so it's like
No, I would say probably
Gotta have LeBron in there.
yeah, no, LeBron
just for the
and-
star
yeah,
power,
for sure.
but not like bounce.
There's no cool in-game dunkers anymore.
See, like I would have
Everyone shooting
loved
threes.
a prime Westbrook.
Wemby?
Sure.
But he's too big.
Yeah, there's not a lot of creativity.
No,
like,
but
when
it's
in the
just,
air.
Probably-
you need star power and like I don't care. Like Mac McClung has really fun dunks. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Ja would,
Ja would
he'd be
love
the
to
one
see
out,
it.
yeah.
Ja would be incredible.
Yeah, makes sense.
Ja, Zion, my easy like 1-2.
At some point, though, aren't we kind of like dunked out? Like, what,
I agree. I don't
What
think
else?
there's-
What else can you do with
Very
it?
What I'm interested in is
Dunk.
Phil, do you still watch it? You watch it
I
last
think
year?
it's only because there's no star power.
Why haven't they moved? Maybe they did. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why haven't they moved the 3-point contest to the last event of the night?
I guess it's just tradition. Always have dunk contests as well.
I know, but
Dunk
if it
contest
stinks,
as a,
that's
like-
not the premier thing anymore.
the-
You could change it.
the 3 contest is bananas. Like, it's really fucking good.
So make the 3-point contest the last night.
But the
the
dunk
last event.
contest still is like the dunk contest. Like, see, the 3-point contest, you just know what you're getting.
Yeah.
The like unpredictableness of the dunk contest is part of what makes it great. Like the 3-point contest is awesome because you actually get like really good players in it.
Yeah.
But it still is just like they're just gonna shoot threes. Like the all dunked out thing. I think it feels that way because you're sick of seeing like Joe Jerkoff Smith do
Yeah.
dunks, but if you saw like someone else do these dunks, you'd be like, holy shit.
Like no one cares about Jeremy Evans.
Exactly. Like the one year John Wall was really good. The one year he did it, he had some great dunks. Like you've seen like guys like Gordon, like the way athleticism has changed. Like when Jordan jumped on the free throw line, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Levine did between the legs from the free throw line. Like the athletes we have in 2025 are insane. Right. They could do things we haven't seen.
Unfortunately,
They
like,
just don't do it.
Zach LaVine is like just not like Lamar.
But even he was an all-star. At least like,
yeah,
he's a good
like
player.
Michael Jordan doing it's like, oh my god. But like, I get what you mean. You're right.
But if we could even get like all like borderline all-star players,
Anthony
that'd be
Edwards
like
should be in it.
like Edwards. Actually,
Anthony
great
Edwards.
choice.
Yeah,
He'd be my
Edwards
actually.
Def should be in it.
That'd be like my dream. That's the third one. Like the Zion Ja and would be like the dream.
But I don't think there's any benefit for these guys.
Oh, you have rookies.
It's a star. I mean,
we have a
just
rookie
put on a shelf for the fans. I mean,
I guess, yeah.
I'm just gonna
Is there,
rattle.
am I crazy? Is that there was rookies in it this year?
Castle's a rookie.
Why a rookie should never be in it?
There's 2 rookies. Because isn't Bucelis a rookie too?
Yeah, Buzelis is too. Yeah.
2 and a G.
And Jackson's like a
two rookies
third year.
and a G League guy, and a third year guy.
bad
That's
product.
crazy.
These are the winners from like the last few years: Mac McClung, Obi Toppin, Anthony Simons, Derek Jones Jr.,
Jesus.
Hamidou Diallo, Queens represent, Donovan Mitchell, Glenn Robinson III, Zach LaVine. Like it's
Donovan
been
Mitchell, like that's the best name there. You go
You know
Levine.
who's was
2018,
really-
that's the last time an
I'll be
All-Star
honest,
yes, has won
not
it.
even biased. Terrence Ross was really good too. That was a good.
They're in
contest.
between mixed in. There's been some very good like individual dunks, but nothing. Just you need the star power. Like,
When
that's what
Dwight
drives it.
Howard put the cape on, and that was one of the best. That was like the most memorable one for me.
good one.
Like when I was younger.
I mean, Blake Griffin over the Kia was awesome.
Oh, that was another. Yeah, that one.
That was memorable.
Was that not the same one?
I don't think so. Maybe
I don't think so. It wasn't the same one.
Well, because Dwight also the same year he did the cape one, he did the one where he brought out like the 12-foot hoop.
Dwight was 08.
Yes.
He dunked on a 12-foot hoop and everyone
Blake
went nuts.
Griffin well, I was watching his podcast he was on was so funny.
Dude, he's
They were, like,
great.
talking about like how he was how he's half and like he's white and black, and they were like, "Do you ever like They said code switch where like whatever one you're in, and he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Of course I do." He goes, "Right now I'm with you guys," and there's 2 white guys. He goes, I'm talking like this, and he goes, "Right after this, I'm going to Mello's podcast. You think I'm going to be talking like this?" It was so funny the way he's talking about it. Like he should have I don't even know if he has a podcast. He is really good.
I saw another clip where Norm Macdonald snuck into the Rookie of the Year press conference and said, he's like, "Hey, Blake," the way he talks to, he's like, "The thing with Rookie of the Year is no one's repeated. Like, what do you think? There's a little bit of a curse." And Blake Griffin like had to laugh. Like Norm Macdonald told nobody he was going in there. It was just the best.
You ever see Norm Macdonald's Twitter account?
Yeah, he gets in depth with games, right?
Golf. He used to live tweet golf. It was crazy.
You should live tweet everything.
But I think that's the kind of performance art though. Like it was kind of a bit. Like
Yeah, but it's still funny. I mean,
yeah, no, it was great. But like sometimes he would do it intentionally boring on purpose. To
Yeah.
fuck with you.
I-
He was the greatest. He's the greatest thing I've ever seen in person.
The Magic
dead now,
Johnson
right?
Yeah, he passed.
yeah, he is dead.
recently.
Yeah, I know that. I make sure. I still think dead or alive should be a category on.
Missed
this.
shot by the Suns. Then Milwaukee gets the ball and scores. Bucks up by 2.
Yeah, like he would do so. He's fucking with it. Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah.
He's the best. The best dad I've ever seen in person.
All right, I am ice cold with college basketball picks. I'm giving out teams that are losing fucking outright. I'm on Colorado State first half tonight. Let me give you the exact number. Against Air Force. I do think Air Force is horrific. It is 8.5. First half, 8.5, Colorado State. So fade away as you're at. Clemmer.
I'm going to be gone most of all next week, so you're getting Super Bowl picks from me until the Super Bowl. And you're getting Kareem Hunt, anytime touchdown, plus 130. Every playoff game Kareem Hunt has played in, he scored a touchdown.
Okay. Ev.
It's crazy. He's like Pacheco just doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, he told his job. I'm on the Johnnies. I like that. I was on that already at -4. I'm also going to be on, where is it? It was late. Kansas -13 bounce back spot.
Marty.
I'm on Kansas as well. St. John's as well. I'm on Tennessee -10.5 against Kentucky. That's I think Kentucky's going to be falling after this.
So Kentucky, he talked about those red flags, how UConn is 130th in defense. Kentucky has the 4th best offense, 81st defense.
Yeah.
They're very much a teams like that get upset in the first round. They're very much a red flag.
Yep. I got Wake Forest plus 8.5 against Louisville. and then Providence -2.5 against Seton Hall. Seton Hall is god awful. God awful.
So yeah, but I liked Providence as well. Does that line scare you a
I
little
love
bit?
Seton Hall.
Well, what's his name is out, obviously.
Yeah, Hopkins.
He's out for the year.
But I feel like Providence has to win that game. Seton Hall is so bad.
I love Seton Hall tonight.
I mean, the line is Seton
Providence
Hall.
coming off that Ed Cooley game, probably their best game of the year.
Yeah.
Not a very good offensive team by any means. Both kind of have similar styles.
No, Dukes is very right, but
I don't think there's anything that Providence does that stands out.
But Seton Hall's really bad.
Dukes has sold me on Seton Hall.
No, Dukes is right. I saw the
totally
line,
right.
but I was
Yeah, screamer for Seton Hall.
I've bet on Seton Hall a bunch, and with these lines, and they just sometimes they don't.
Providence is that bad. Providence, like that was their Super Bowl. You're betting on, it's
Home court. I mean, a Saturday noon, like that's the rowdiest, one of the rowdiest environments of college basketball.
Yeah, I just don't know how you can get up for that game against going to New Jersey and playing Seton.
I like it, Dukes.
So I also have a parlay. Jack just cooked it up. He gave it to me. Marquette to win outright. Georgia to win outright. Providence to win outright. Colorado State first half -8.5 against Air Force. +408.
I have one play tonight. Jeremy Grant under 13.5 points, -125. Hopefully he pulls his hamstring in the first 5 minutes and that bet hits.
No,
That's
room for
something else.
injuries.
Well,
man.
I'm taking.
It's
crazy. We don't
taking
do
under.
injuries.
You hope he gets injured. Maybe
he gets hurt? How about
maybe,
he gets
maybe
significant injury?
What if he just has an off night?
Yeah.
Well, what if he is like?
What if you pull your hamstring tonight? What if he roots for
That's
that?
impossible. How's he going to pull his hamstring?
Yeah, how's that
Fucking
gonna happen?
tweeting.
Jesus.
All right.
Tennessee minus
Dukes, what do you got?
Tennessee -10.5, BYU -3.5. I like BYU a lot too. Pitt -2.5.
Let's go A&M -8.5. They had a tough one against Texas. That's a good team. Seton Hall +3.5. And obviously, I'm gonna have to take Dayton some way. Just don't know what. Probably on the money.
Yeah,
line
I took him
parlay.
Friday night with you.
I have one more thing.
They didn't trail for the entire game.
They didn't cover.
They covered. They covered -4.5.
I had a bad number.
Big Boy Bets. He DM'd me yesterday. I totally forgot to answer him, but he goes, "Any chance you had eyes on the Stephen F. Austin game?" I had Stephen F. Austin -8.5, and apparently the scoreboard on TV was wrong. The scoreboard showed them winning by 9. Apparently they only won by 7. Also, Stephen F. Austin tweeted out the score that they won by 9. And they only really won by 7. So that's insane.
That's crazy.
That's where like college basketball is the best. Where this poor bastard is betting Stephen F. Austin 8.5. You think you won? You see the tweet 9, and then you look at the scoreboard on like the app. They won by 7.
That's brutal. All right.
When was that?
What?
When was that? Yesterday?
I believe it was yesterday. He DM'd me yesterday.
All right. The Yak is up next. We will catch you tomorrow.